G'day everybody, welcome back to Street Magic Season 2. This season is a little bit different. Last season you saw individual tricks here and there, but this season we are theming it. Tonight's theme is gambling. We have special guest here, Edward Colussi, flown him up from Sydney, and he's going to talk about the history of gambling, cheating, and hopefully demonstrate a few of those stuff as well.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Cheers.
So, cheating, especially with cards, like where did it all start?
Well, essentially card cheating came around essentially just when cards came out. So for example, the first recorded history of cards was the 9th century in China. They were just little pieces of paper with symbols on them. And then from there, the Europeans kind of developed it. So the card symbols that we see today, like hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades, were all kind of evolved from all the European decks. Like they had acorns instead of clubs, They had swords instead of spades. And from there, I think there's a saying that goes that as soon as someone actually used a deck of cards in a game of odds, that someone actually used it to tip it in their favor by cheating. So it may have just been something as simple as adding a card in or some kind of shifty move so they could get a certain card. But it really comes down to the context of the culture. So, for example, in history, there was actually the first recorded kind of popular culture reference to card cheating would be Card Sharp's painting by Caravaggio in 1592, which shows 3 figures, one of them kind of signaling the other one and the other one reaching behind his back to pull cards out of his back pocket. Now, that was the first kind of recorded instance, but since then there's been a lot of movies about it, references in books, but obviously the characters are real, they're not just some fictitious thing like a hero.
Okay. Now, I do more of magic sleights. How do you apply, can you apply gambling sleight to sort of the magic sort of side of things, or?
Yeah. So initially a lot of the actual magic sleights came from gambling, like a lot of the gambling techniques. Like there's books like hundreds of years old that just cover all these techniques which can be used either for gambling or for magic. There's actually one book published in 1902 called The Expert at the Card Table, and it has a section just on cheating at cards, and then the second section just on magic tricks using the same techniques. So magicians have taken a lot more of the techniques and things like that from the gamblers, whereas gamblers haven't really taken much from the magician.
It's the presentation, really. Huh?
Exactly. Like we do it just to kind of show off. Like as magicians, we do it more to show off and to show skill. Whereas the cheater really can't do that, because obviously it means that people will see him as a threat in terms of card games, and it means that his entire advantage in the game is just gone.
Cool. So what about like dealing with the moves of cheating? I mean,
there's a few things like the bottom deal, second deal, all those kinds of things. So they the name pretty much dictates what they are. So second deal is essentially you have a card on top like the 2 of spades, and it looks like I'm going to deal that 2 of spades, but I'm really actually dealing the second card from the top. So that 2 of spades is still here. So I'll try and do it quite slowly so you can actually see it happening. But essentially all that means is I have this 2 on top and I just hold it back for myself or someone else. So even for my player that I'm actually trying to bet against. So if I know that this is a 2, obviously that's a terrible card to have in most games. So for example, if I was going to give it to you, I'd deal out seconds, and then when I came to you, I just deal a fair top. So that's the second deal. Now there's also things like the bottom deal. So I'll show you what I mean. So you're going to be dealing the bottom card, but making it look exactly like that top card. So we'll use these aces for an example, but we'll deal out a 5-hand game, and to the 5th hand I'll deal out those aces, and I'll show you pretty much a really open bottom deal. So you'll see exactly when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen, but at least you kind of understand it, and then I'll show you when it's deceptive, okay? So we'll take these 4 aces. Now usually I deal the spade first, but I like to leave that one till last for the time being. So we'll deal out the hearts first in this case. So let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one comes straight off the bottom.
Okay, that's very obvious.
It's very obvious.
Yep.
So yeah, it leaves us with 3 more aces. Now obviously you're not going to stop between the deals. You have to do it pretty much in one smooth go. But I just want to show you that the aces are still there, so I'm not doing anything dodgy. So there's ace, ace, ace. As I said, we'll leave that spade to the end, so it's the most memorable. So we'll deal the clubs out next. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one comes straight off the bottom. We'll separate that up a bit. So that leaves us with ace of spades, ace of diamonds. So we'll leave that one till last. So we'll do the diamonds in this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that one comes straight off the bottom, leaving us with the spade. Now, you need to have a 5-card hand, so we'll deal this one out, and you can see that spade's still there. Just take that straight off the bottom. We'll leave it there. Now, you can't play cards with just play poker, sorry, with just 4 cards. So we'll just deal out that 5th card. Now, let's have a look at how everyone's done. So over here, you've got the first hand, and this person's got pretty much nothing.
Nothing.
Like, not even close to a flush or a straight, not even a pair. This person here, they've got a pair of 3s.
Something at least.
They've got maybe 3 cards out of the flush draw, so still pretty much nothing. Over here, you've got 10, 9, 8, king 2, pretty much nothing. And over here, let's have a look at what this person's got. Actually, this is what I mean. Even if you know the bottom deal's happening, you don't know when it's happening. So over here, for example, that whole time we've actually had the ace, king, queen, jack,
nice, the royal flush.
Royal flush.
Jackpot.
Jackpot.
I like it. So, obviously with cheating methods, if you were living back in the day and you used it, it would sort of be somewhat beneficial because you're cheating, you're winning money or whatever it is. What about today's day, you know, up to 2010 now? So what would you use cheating for? More of a demonstration or?
Well, in 2010, mainly cheating would be within home games, or even just, you know, casual games like your local RSL. But even then, it's quite strict. If someone's caught cheating, they just get ejected from the premises, and you really kind of have to watch out for it. So there's a few different ways that you can overcome these different types of cheating. So for example, never use the all-over back designs that have like the crisscross patterns. At least use a white bordered deck, because at least then it limits what they can do, because that all-over back design kind of disguises if you're taking top card, second card, middle card, bottom card, they all look the same because it all blends together. Another thing that you should always do is make sure that everyone separately shuffles the pack. So not between each one, because that would take ages, but at least have everyone, like, you know, the shuffling gets taken around the table. It's fairer.
That's cool. Well, mate, I'd love to see a demonstration.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, Petey, I want to show you a bit of an experiment with poker. So, for example, in all these poker kind of strategy books that you see out at the moment, they talk about tells. So, if you can like read a person. So, for example, they might touch their face, fiddle with their cards, have a drink, or they'll just be really, you know, uptight and silent if they're holding something big. Yep. So it's not just when they're holding a winning hand, but you can even get it down to how, like, a specific card. So, for example, we'll just use you as an example. So, I want you to just name a card for me. Doesn't matter which one.
Any card.
Any card.
5 of clubs.
Yeah, any particular reason you chose a 5 of clubs?
Just came in my head.
Just came into your head. No worries. So we'll give the cards a quick shuffle, and we'll play a game of poker, just using your 5 of clubs. So just remember it. It's going to be quite crucial in a moment. But we'll deal out 5 hands. The 5th hand is going to come to myself. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So these hands, they don't really matter because, well, we're not really focusing on these people. We're mostly focusing on what we've got. So here are our 4 cards. Now remember that I actually put a card in my pocket before we even started, and you named the
5 of clubs.
5 of clubs. Okay, so let's have a look here. So here we have the 7 of clubs, the 6 of clubs, 4 of clubs, and the 3 of clubs. Now, what would be the perfect card to make that the perfect poker hand to win a game? The 5 of clubs. Let's have a look.
Very nice.
No worries.
There you have it, guys. Gambling with Eddie Colussi here. I hope you've enjoyed the history and the demonstrations he's given us. Thank you very much for coming.
No, it's a pleasure being here.